It's just me, we'll be quick. So out of curiosity, does staff have, you guys have a trouble? All right, good evening and welcome to the Southern Cloud Valley Open Space Authority Administration and Budget Committee on September 11th. And let's get the meeting started.
Director Chapman.
Here.
Director Dill.
Yeah.
Director Alexander is not present.
This portion of the meeting is reserved for any persons desiring to address the committee on any matter not on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Do we have anybody here?
There's none.
Okay, all right. Well, then we will go on to the approval of the minutes.
Move to approve.
I will second. All those in favor? Okay, so we have a motion to approve by Director Gill with a second by Director Chapman.
Director Chapman.
Yes.
Director Dill.
Yes.
Okay, passed unanimously. All right. Let's get on to committee business. Again, members of the public have the opportunity to comment and matter on the agendas because we're going to 3 minutes. We're going to receive a presentation on considered amendments to the employee handbook and provide feedback to staff. Elizabeth Loretto.
Yes, good evening, directors. We'll be reviewing some of these potential amendments that staff are considering and just kind of want to get some board input on, take your temperature as to how these might look for the future handbook amendments that will be coming to the full board later this year. So just to ground us, every year the authority reviews the employee handbook for required updates and for changes that might improve the work experience for employees at the authority. This year, we do have some compliance and administrative updates. I will acknowledge I am not walking you through those because we have to do them. So you can like or not like them, but we have to be compliant with state law. So those updates will be coming when it goes to the board for the final. But we also have some updates that are striving to make sure we stay competitive as an employer, that we're being responsive to staff ideas, and not just ideas, but kind of pain points or things that would make employment experience at the authority the best it could be for our employees. And so some of those updates do alter compensation and benefits for the authority, and so have ultimately would have costs associated and would benefit from the review and consideration of the Administration and Budget Committee and how those fiscal impacts would be. Historically, just a little more framing, the authority's benefits package, including paid time off, is a big piece of what's really able to attract staff. We do have good compensation, but we are on the lower end if you just looked at salary to some of our comparators, and it's our benefits package, including paid time off, that most of the time is what keeps us on a more level playing field with our peers overall. And so, so that's what seals the deal. And so with that in mind, we recommend that you receive this presentation of potential amendments to the handbook and provide me with feedback. So we've got 3 kind of thematic areas that we're looking at this go round. Creating a new mechanism for appointing employees to acting assignments and compensating them accordingly. increasing paid time off through additional paid holidays and additional vacation accruals and personal leave, and changing the timing of when a new hire receives their first formal evaluation and associated pay increase. So I'll walk you through each of these individually, and Dr. Gill, I'm happy to take questions on each item as you have them. We don't need to wait till the end.
Oh, sure.
Like for each of the different themes of amendment.
I like, otherwise I.
Yeah, you'll forget, exactly. So
Now,
and I'll forget your feedback too when it comes time for it. But so the first is what we are calling the creation of,
actually, just go over, let me ask the question.
yeah,
So you are talking about the agency's employees' salary is the lower than the other same kind of agency. Did you just has any data for that?
we absolutely do. So just, yeah, to remind our compensation, our pay plan is set by doing a class and comp study with comparator analysis to our 12 comparator agencies. We choose to put ourselves at the board's direction on the last, on every study we've done since 2014 on the 75th percentile of our peers. Some of our peers that we use in that study, such as this city of San Jose, the county of Santa Clara, Valley Water, have just a higher base salary to begin with. So we end up a little lower than our immediate peers because our larger pool also includes Monterey County, where cost of living is a little lower, Santa Rosa, where similarly cost of living is a little different. And so when you compare us directly to just our most close peers, you could be seeing a 10 to 15% change in, a minimum in my job to the person doing my job at Valley Water, for example. However, Valley Water asks their employees to contribute benefits. I don't have to contribute to my benefits, so it's that benefits package that really balances it
How
out.
about medical?
We are also below mid-pen by a smaller amount, but we are historically under mid-pen always.
That's the best.
It's the best comparator for
Okay.
us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next time we do a class and comp study, that is absolutely something we could look at more holistically on the salary side. But in the meantime, we are also, some of these changes are trying to bring us up to speed with what MidPen has or some of those other comparators. Okay, so the first amendment would be creating a new acting assignment process. So there are times when an employee is asked to take on more work beyond their usual duties to help fill a temporary void in the authority staffing. It may be because of a position actually being vacant for some period of time, or someone being on a leave of absence, or even an extended vacation. We call these acting assignments, and we need to create a structure so that they can be deployed consistently. We have done them in the past, but it's kind of been pretty ad hoc depending on what position needs to be filled or that kind of thing. So the proposed structure laid out here would create 2 tiers of an acting assignment. If you were taking on that assignment for less than 2 weeks, and if you were taking it on for longer than 2 weeks. So in the less 2 weeks hypothetical, somebody would be taking on a little additional responsibility, but most likely they would be maybe attending meetings on behalf of their colleague. They would not likely be taking on decision-making in their colleague's stead, or too much supervision of other staff or things like that. So we are not recommending compensation in that case. If it's longer than 2 weeks, though, the staff in the acting assignment would probably be taking on decision-making responsibility, potentially supervising additional staff, approving expenses, or helping manage the programmatic budgets and other increased responsibilities like that for an increased period of time. And so because of that increase in responsibilities, we feel it's appropriate to also increase the compensation because they're working outside of their classification. So by example, just taking some of our staff who are in the room, if I am out on a leave of absence and ask Caroline to serve as acting administrative operations manager, this would create a mechanism for her to be compensated a little bit more and not just take on the additional responsibilities of it. but it would help us make sure we can do that fairly. Similarly, if Caroline were going to be out and we wanted to ask Ivy to take on more, it might look different for Ivy stepping into a clerk of the board than it would for the clerk to step into a department manager. And that's kind of laid out here too. But
How you can calculate that, like the extra responsibilities?
well, that's where it's been challenging. And so is this math perfect? Maybe not, but we want to put something consistent in place so that staff know what to expect. And it's not an ad hoc, in this case, we're going to do this much compensation, and in that case, it'll be this much. So if
You're talking about the salary you have to be give a little bit, or you have to give some vacation time, or
a little more salary is what we're talking about. So if I'm on a leave of absence and Caroline is serving as the acting administrative operations manager, this proposal would get her a 10% increase in her salary for those weeks that I am out and she is acting. So she would get her normal salary plus a little 10%.
That's why I'm asking how you calculate 10%. Why
Part-
is it not 15%?
Well,
Why
so
is it not 5%?
again, it's 10% for department manager. And a big part of that is because on the pay plan, when you look at where our department managers are to where the staff who would be senior enough and eligible, 10% would fill that gap. Because we wouldn't want to pay Caroline, no offense, Caroline, more than I make in doing the job on a normal basis. So that was the rationale there. And then if it were not a department manager, it would be either 5% minimum or the first step at that position's pay plan. So if, again, in the example, Ivy were acting clerk, it would be a minimum 5% or the clerk pay rate, whichever one was more.
You're making me go back in my bank, because when I worked in the school district, they had something very similar. They
Yeah,
had to be board approved, so if there was an interim position and there was an interim bump, then it was kind of a temporary reclassification is what they called it. And it was board approved, so that way we go open and transparent, and knew that you were
yeah.
the temporary reclassification for however long it was, and then.
And that's kind of essentially a temporary reclassification is kind of what this is, because otherwise, if we are just asking employees to take on the responsibility, we're asking them to work out of class without the compensation, and we don't want to be doing that either. That said, just to be clear, our hope is that by putting this in the employee handbook, the structure is board approved, and therefore, just like our other staffing day-to-day decisions, the general manager can deploy the best option to meet the authority's need and make sure we have people doing the jobs that need to be done.
But in the private sector,
Mhm.
it's not like that.
It's not. It's a very governmental thing.
Yeah.
It is. Or
I'm get used to the private sector. So usually the head, whoever the head of the department,
mhm.
that person has to take care the department.
Yeah.
So if somebody want to go on vacation or on any kind of leave, then that's his responsibility. He just divided the little work to some to him, her, some to me, some to them. In that way, they can balance the work.
Yeah. Well,
And then my question is not that I'm not against to give the salary to
Okay.
employees, because we need the employee will be happy.
Yeah.
Then the agency will be run successfully. The question is that then whenever somebody take the responsibility is really from your department or the same department, or the other department guys can take care of that.
Well, in some cases, it could be from another department because we are small and we do have a lot of cross collaborative work. There may be some kind of overlap. We do, for example, there could also be a time where it's another department manager who is taking it on. That we did not put any increased compensation for. So for example,
That is the question I'm asking.
Yeah.
If the same title guy from the other department take over like 1 month or 15 days, then there is no need to be Yeah.
And that is something we do currently do. And the best example I can think of is between natural resources and field, because those departments work very closely together. So if Derek Newman, our field operations manager, takes a 2-week vacation, he will coordinate and appoint and work with Aaron Bear, our natural resources manager, so that if the field has any emergent issues, Aaron is there to help take care of them and provide guidance to staff. That said, if there could be a time where Derek were to go on a medical leave and be out for 3 months, and Aaron says, I don't have the capacity to take this on for 3 months, and we would look at a supervising open space technician and give them that growth opportunity to be the acting department manager. So absolutely, it could go both ways. And if it were a pure department manager, there would be no compensation, and it would likely be for a shorter period of time.
So, take over the other department, I really love it.
Okay,
But
good.
if there is no choice, then the second option is good too.
Okay, good. And
Director Gill and I come from different backgrounds.
which is great.
Public sector, he comes from the private sector. In the public sector, this is a union, bargaining tool. So this is very common.
It is. And to Director Gill's comment, it really, we want to be able to do this consistently, equitably, so that what happens in the administrative operations department is the same way it happens in the field operations department, right? So that everybody's got the same experience, but there is also great growth opportunity for more junior staff to step up and do a little more and try some things out. But we also would we want them to be happy with the growth, but also with the compensation, because it's probably going to ask more of them. They might have to do some extra hours or things that make them uncomfortable. So it would allow us to hopefully, keep them happy in a lot of ways.
Not only that, that's other benefit to giving the junior employees that responsibility in future. It's a good idea. You can promote the guy and already trained.
Exactly. It starts to build skill building in the lower staff.
That's
Absolutely.
another benefit.
Mhm.
Yeah. So because we have to give the opportunity, to be very honest, when I was managing or I was the head of any kind, mostly I'm the head of the department.
Mhm.
I usually trained my people inside the company instead of go and hire somebody else. The reason is that because the person working in the company, they understand the culture of the company, they understand the process, the whole process of the product we are just building. That is much easier. That person will be take over. So I preferred to give the
Internal
push,
growth. Yeah.
the growth opportunity. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Let me just double check. Oh, there are some eligibility requirements noted here. So just want to be clear on that. An employee would need to be in a good standing in their current role, performing well to take on more. And then we have a few, like I mentioned, if you were to be an acting department manager, you would be coming from one of these identified classifications. So you would be a senior planner, a supervising open space technician, a habitat program manager, not a human resources coordinator. But a human resources coordinator could step up to become a human resources specialist for a period of time, or like they might step up a little bit, but that wouldn't jump up to become the department manager. So there's a little bit of structure there as to the who as well. So any other questions on, oh, yes.
No, I understand because it's not, I'm not talking about like I'm only a high school graduate and then I start from the bottom and then you can give me any manager job. But they have some kind of skill set and then the job requirement as well. If the person is qualified, then better. If I were you or I'm the head of the department, try to give that opportunity our own employees instead of going outside and then hiring from. So when start from the beginning, the other guys or the young people, you can get that. on that position, if somebody get the promotion and their spot is empty. So like me, if you hire me, might be my brain is that not that sharp if I can hire somebody just fresh
Yeah.
and start from the beginning. And then they reach easily and then learn easily instead of me. Yeah, you understand what I'm trying to just tell.
Yeah, I
But
do.
I'm just supporting our own employees to get promotion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, that's the entire theme of, or it relates to kind of the theme of these proposed or potential amendments is helping keep our employees happy so we can retain them, so they can have that growth and we can have that continuity of knowledge and succession and all of that. Any other thoughts or questions on the acting assignment or feedback to consider as we move forward?
Would you create a process again? Would it be, it would be would it ever go, the reclassification go before the board? I mean, would you in a transparent process? Say the person's like maternity leave. I'm trying to think of big time or, you know, significant illness, right? Where you're gonna be gone for several months. Or
I have to admit, I don't think though that we would, because again, historically, the way it has worked with us is the board approves the budget, the board approves the pay plan. So what are we compensating people for the different roles and kind of the pay structures like this? And then the general manager has the discretion of who. Absolutely, we would notify the board that so-and-so is the acting department manager for the next 6 months to cover a maternity leave. We would communicate that. But we weren't envisioning adding that to the process because that's just not part of our current process in general. Yeah.
I have a question on this point. For example, if anybody go on medical leave,
Mhm.
6 months, do we have any process we can hire the contract person?
We do, and we have in the past hired, oh, sorry, I did that, I bumped it. Hired temporary staff. Best example I can provide, just very concrete, because you're very familiar with her, but in the past, we have had maternity leaves in our accounting and finance area. And so we would elevate our staff accountant a little bit and then bring in a temp service contract to do the data entry, very basic accounting components of the function. So we look at it very holistically to figure out how to do it. I actually spent a good portion of my summer on medical leave, and we divided my duties up amongst 5 different people in 5 different ways, and that's how we got through it. So there are different times, but yes, we can hire a temp employee, direct hire temp employee, or work with a staffing firm, or hire a contract if it's an appropriate consultant, like a GIS consultant, we could put them under contract to do additional work.
How you can manage those kind of their benefits or other stuff when you hire the contractor?
If we hire them direct, then per the employee handbook, they're identified as, we don't do them contract. If they're a direct to the Open Space Authority, they go through, they are a temporary employee with a maximum number of 1,000 hours that they can work. So if it needs to be more than 1,000 hours, we need a different solution. But if it's within 1,000 hours, we can employ them. And then we don't have benefits by definition of a temporary employee
If
in our
less than
employee handbook.
20 hours per week.
Less than 1,000-hour job.
No, I'm just saying if it's less than 20 hours per week.
They could work full-time, but full
Okay.
40 hours a week, but it's less than 1,000 hours total.
Okay, so no benefit.
Then no benefits because they've been defined as a temporary job.
Yeah.
That said, if they worked over that 1,000 hours, then we do have to go back and enroll them in benefits. And in fact, there's penalties with CalPERS and things like that. So we work really hard to avoid that.
If through that staffing agency, then
Then it's a contract with the staffing agency, like Robert Half, and Robert Half handles all payroll. We just have asked for the support.
so no benefit.
None provided by us. We just pay Robert Half whatever rate they've asked for.
They whatever their policies and procedures, they take
Correct.
care themselves, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. On to the next, increase paid time off. Sorry, got a little out of order on my note. So we're taking, I will say, kind of talking about our comparators. The first category here are 2 new holidays. These are 2 holidays that the Open Space Authority does not recognize, and every comparator agency we have and direct partner does, which is a big driver of why we would want to consider it. Because again, it keeps us on par with the comparators and therefore our competitive employment pool.
The question is that then there is a set holidays, number of holidays.
We currently have 11, so this would be
So-
2 more.
What is the limit? I mean, the total will be 13, you can take that?
Correct. The total would become 13
All the other agencies giving 13?
or 14 or 15 or 16.
No, I'm asking what is the.
That's what I'm saying. They have, other agencies do have additional. So MidPenn has multiple MOUs with different employment groups, and their minimum, their lowest number is 13, and their highest number, which I believe belongs to their police officers or their safety personnel, is 16. So this would start to move us back up to be on par with them.
You'd also be in line with the city.
And we'd be in line with the city. And specifically these 2 holidays, Cesar Chavez Day, of course, has very deep roots to the agricultural community and represents the authority's values in that way, as does Indigenous Peoples Day, have very clear roots with our partners in the tribal community. So they're representative of the work we do and our values and our desires to be inclusive and representative of the people who work here and the holidays that are important to them, and kind of
Okay.
a lot of things.
Let's do it this way then.
Yeah.
So I'll propose one more holidays, then it's much easier, then I can get re-elected again. Diwali. You heard Diwali?
I have heard of Diwali.
Okay, if you just put that holidays also in our open space authority, then I can tell them, hey, I did that one. That is the
But, yeah,
It is and that's the thing. There's always more we could be doing in each of these categories, and it's finding a balance where we move the needle on some and others in ways that serve as many of our employees and, again, attracting talent as we can.
Do you have a restriction on days you have to work?
No.
That was the city of San Jose, because sometimes we would get another holiday and then they would say, guess what? You don't get New Year's Eve off, you have to balance.
Oh, gotcha. No, we don't have anything like that. The only thing, like the closest I can think of, is that you can't be taking leave without pay without having used up all of your time. Like, we're not, but honest, and yeah, no.
So do you guys pay overtime and double time, those kinds
For
of
holidays or in general?
in general, more than 8 hours?
It's-
Anybody's work more than 8 hours?
Yes, so we do pay overtime. However, as a special district, we do not follow the California standard, which is 8 hours in a workday. We follow the federal standard, and that's by California law, that they send us to go follow the federal standard, which is 40 hours in a week. So I could work a 12-hour day today and a 4-hour day tomorrow, and I'm not going to get overtime because I balanced it out. So we also provide that flexible scheduling to try to manage our overtime costs. But yes, if it is over 40 in a work week, Monday to Sunday, then you are eligible for time and a half overtime. And we also allow our employees to bank that. They can either take it as payroll like normal, or they could set it aside and it's paid time off in the future. So we do allow for that. And then we have not really an overtime, but we have a premium pay rate, which is noted here actually for holiday. So for our field staff who have to be out there on 4th of July, we pay them a holiday worked pay rate, and that is double time and a half.
How about after 48 hours?
Nope.
No double time?
Just your time and a half, but no, it does not increase the like that.
That would be the increased holiday work.
Yeah, so the average holiday staffing. It's a little different because, as you might imagine, the number of staff we need present in preserves on the 4th of July is different than the number of staff we need present on Christmas Day. But the average works out to about $4,800 of wages. That would be the increase. And so it's important to note that adding these additional holidays, that's a very tangible cost tie-in.
You're still not keeping, because like you said, there's other holidays in the wings that you could be.
Oh, yeah.
You're just playing catch up.
We're playing catch up a little bit to our peers and again, being responsive to requests from a good portion of our staff.
Question.
Yes.
So it's a Monday to Friday, right?
Monday to Sunday, because our field staff works.
That's what I'm saying. So then, no, my question is so their schedule is different. So they have, some people has week days off also.
Correct. Most of our field staff work at least one weekend day and therefore have one weekday off. Everybody has 2 days in a row, kind of a weekend, but it's like a Sunday, Monday, or a Friday, Saturday for some people. So yes, we do have existing in the handbook already a way to handle it so that when Cesar Chavez Day or Indigenous Peoples Day is on the Monday and you don't work Mondays, there is already protocol in the handbook so that that person, they can take an alternate day off that week to get their holiday.
How many shifts we have?
We split them between 3 different shifts. Typically, there's openers who start, depending seasonally, they can start as early as 5 a.m. And there's the closers who, again, in peak summertime are probably ending their day at 10:30 p.m. And then there's a mid shift in the middle. This is just for field staff who work kind of the more traditional, like banker's hours of a 8:30 to 5 kind of situation. So the openers, they get out there, they open the gates, they make sure the preserves are ready for the staff. The closers are wrapping it up, locking it up. And in the middle, everybody is doing what they can with the stewardship work and the maintenance and interacting with the public along the way. I feel like you're just trying to make sure my 10 years here have taught me how we work. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm just learning the public sector.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Private sector, I have no problem.
Yeah. And so that's about, gosh, I don't have the stat directly. I think that's about 25 of our employees work in one of those kind of shift environments. And the rest are Monday to Friday.
I'm thinking might be sometime I will be retired from here and give couple years break and then maybe you can hire me here.
Yeah, we'll
So then
hire you as an open space aide.
Experience as a private sector has.
Absolutely. Okay. So those are the 2 holidays that would be in addition. And then the kind of big one, the biggest of all of these amendments would be the addition of 5 more paid days off for eligible staff. And this would be in the structure of 4 additional vacation days, which are accrued based on actual hours work. Our current accrual structure, go back to my notes, is that in your first 5 years of employment, you earn 12 days per year. So in the proposed increase here, you would be earning 16 days. So if you worked and reported paid time for all 2,080 hours of your full-time job in your first year of employment, you would now have 16 vacation days available to you.
That's actually the state law or the agency make ourselves?
Agency make up ourselves. So we, for the last,
Any reason for that? Why we want to be increase the, just any reason behind that, then we have to be understand.
the reasoning really, again, is about the competitive nature and being responsive to what's very valuable to our employees. So it's kind of giving more time off or giving more salary or things like that. And so that's the primary driver for it, is just helping encourage that competitive to retain our employees by giving them the flexibility to have vacation and family time and that work-life balance that everybody's always chasing. So
retain employees. That makes sense.
Yeah, retain employees, exactly. But
Because when you just hire new one, you can just pay more money than paying employees. When you train that and those kind
Yeah.
of things.
yeah, it's a big factor. And so again, this is an area that through this round of employee handbook updates and kind of the process we've gone through the last
No, but
year.
I understand that, but my question is that so you said the first year they have 12.
Currently, the first 5 years, you get 12, total of 12 per year.
Okay, then after 5 years,
Currently, you get 15.
after 5 years.
Well, 5 to 10, and then 10 to 15 is 18 days, and 15 plus is currently 21 days.
So after 5 years, so you just increase for.
It's a 3, no, sorry, so
No, let me ask.
it's
just
3
then
days.
If person is the first year, they have 12. When they complete 5 years, then they will 16, right?
15. So
15?
because, sorry, so currently 0 to 5 years, your accrued rate is 12 days per year. 5 to 10 years, it's 15 days per year. And there's also 10 to 15 and 15 plus. What we are proposing is adding 4 days at all of those tiers. So the new number would be 0 to 5 is 16.
Yeah, I understand that, but why we don't just do this one? The first year is a 12, the second year is a 13, then 14, and then 15. It's the same thing.
It is, but you know
But
what?
in that way, might be employee will be happy.
It's not administratively the same thing if every employee is changing their accrual rate at every anniversary.
Okay.
And you like efficiency. We have efficient systems to implement at 5-year intervals, and if we had to implement every 12 months,
Yeah.
it might feel like a lot.
But every level, yeah.
Correct. And so at the maximum, at 15 years plus, which we do retain, so we have some employees in that category, they would now be accruing 25 days.
You think the employee will stay 5 years?
Absolutely. Right now, currently,
What is the motivation they can stay 5 years?
Great place to
it's a great place to work. They love our mission.
Uh,
No,
I mean-
that is it. They love our mission. They love our general manager and her vision for the work they get to do. They get to go outside and enjoy the beautiful weather.
Any involvement inside to make the agency moving better place?
They love our board too,
So
and
then
our
you can
CSC.
tell the board also.
Sorry, yes, they love our board too. But so altogether it's 5 days, and we've split it between vacation and personal leave because vacation time is only available to staff who work more than 30 hours per week. And we do have our our open space aides, which is our very public facing, those folks out there opening the gates and interacting with the public. They only work 28 hours per week, so they are only eligible for personal leave. So we would like to give 1 additional personal leave day. So it's a grand total of 5 if you are a full-time employee, and 1 additional day if you are a less than 30-hour-a-week employee. That we wanted to make sure, again, that we could be, not everybody can get every benefit, but everybody's going to see an increase in something. And personal leave, just as a context, is awarded currently 3 days on January 1st, and it expires December 31st, and it's use it or lose it, you know? And so it's currently 3 days. Vacation rolls over and has a current cap at 240 hours.
How about the
Sick leave has no cap and rolls over. Nope. No, it rolls and rolls and rolls. People have hundreds and thousands. Because CalPERS contributes it into their retirement payout at the time of retirement. But we won't cash it out. So it does, but we don't cash it out. But it does also provide individuals the ability to navigate health issues for themselves or their family without relying on state.
For
So-
example, I'm 10 years in the agency. So how many sick leave per year?
That is flat. No, it's for everybody and it's 10 days per year.
Okay, so then if I'm 10 a year, then how many days is 100 days?
No, it's all, you're gonna earn 10 new, but there's no cap and it's been rolling over.
I
So it's gonna depend on how much you've used. So,
I don't use any.
then you might be 600 or so.
Okay, so then I can take 600 at one time?
Hours, sorry, not days.
600 hours one time?
Yeah.
You could.
Or under CalPERS, you bank it,
Right.
and then they add it to your
Mhm.
calculation when you
Mhm.
retire as.
But I know, but the where I came from, use or lose. That's
Yeah.
it.
No,
Sick
this,
leave, especially sick leave.
yeah,
Coming from.
No, I'm just that's
See?
why I'm comparing. So
Yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
learning curve for me.
Absolutely.
So you can keep or not keep. So
Mhm.
that's good idea. That's
Yeah.
good.
Awesome. And we don't cash that out or anything like that.
And the city now, you bank up your sick time, but then when I left the city, I lost it all.
Correct. You lose it. With one caveat. The state of California legally requires employers to make it available to you if you are rehired within 12 months. So if I were to, I'm not, I promise, but if I were to leave today and I came back to employment in December, they would turn back on my sick leave. Everything I had would come back to me. If I came back next December, I'd start from zero.
But in the CalPERS system, you take it and then you add on to your CalPERS.
Correct. It factors into the retirement payment calculation. It's very beneficial. So, I find just anecdotally, sometimes I have to remind people, when you're sick, go be sick. Like, because especially in the remote world, people just want to work. But yeah, so that would be it. So grand total, this would be, if we advanced all of these proposals, this would be 7 additional days that staff might not be working. The holidays for sure, the vacation, it'll depend on how people actually use it. So we do want to, call out and recognize, like, we realize there is also an opportunity cost of not being at work, and what are we not advancing or not getting done because folks are not at work those days. So it's harder to quantify what that is, but it's important to acknowledge it's there.
Do you feel there would be any constraints on any projects that you see that, or do you feel like the rest of the staff, while this is implemented, the rest of staff could assimilate this and it didn't really have an impact?
I don't think personally on a lot of our larger projects and kind of the feedback from our department managers, as we talked about it with them, that was not a large concern for them because so many of our projects have long runways that there would be able to be some flexibility. Some of the departments that would feel maybe more impacted by it would be our operational side of things, both in the field and admin, because we just have very routine functions that if somebody's not there to do, you start to feel the impact of that. So it's possible that there could be a slowdown on process improvement potentially. Is there going to be a slowdown on legally required things? No, we'll still get those done. But might there be a little more time needed on implementing a new process improvement? Possibly.
You would not, anything operational that's public facing, you're not going to diminish that.
No, we would not diminish that time, no. So, but agreed, yeah, there's a balance kind of how it would really touch down depending on the type of work somebody's doing. Okay, any other questions on this category? Okay. So then the last section is what is evaluation time after onboarding. So what I have on the slide is our proposal. So what I will share is what we currently have. Dr. Gill is a new hire at the Open Space Authority. I'm hired. And after first 6 months of work, we consider your onboarding period complete. You get a full review and you are eligible for your first pay increase in the pay plan, after 6 months, and that's a 5% increase. And then every 12 months, you have your next review and you are eligible again until you exceed or hit the limit for your pay plan definition.
Then I will move.
Maybe, or you get capped out and I have to tell you, you're doing a great job, but I can't give you any more compensation because you've hit the limit in the pay plan.
These 12 month increment, what percentage?
Sorry, what is the what? The yearly?
So after 6 months makes sense. Is it
And can you turn on your mic? No.
After 6 months, say 5%.
It's 5%.
And after 12 months,
And then at 12 months from date of hire,
I-
there's no pay change. It would be 18 months.
okay,
But
I'm saying so.
It would be
after 6
another
months,
5%. It's a 5% bump every time.
Oh, 5%.
Yeah, our pay plan,
But there is no look like range.
our pay plan range for
No, I'm talking about the increment
Mm-mm.
range.
no, there is no increment range.
Everybody has to get 5%.
Correct. So
If I'm not performing.
no, if you are not performing, you did not get a successful evaluation and you are not going to get your compensation increase. Instead, you'll probably get a performance improvement plan.
I understand that. Question is not that. Question is, so you guys has any kind of process or checklist when you're looking that this person did this one, he didn't do this one, he did this one, he didn't do that one, but he's just close. Just close.
The
So that
super,
man start of a 5, he cannot get 3%.
no, the supervisor has one very tough decision to make. They do the whole evaluation and the final outcome comes down to successful, not successful. If
Okay.
you are successful, you get the 5%.
Your time.
No,
And other question is that I'm just barely perform, meaning whatever your limit is that I'm just 1% or a little bit on the top, and then you are look like is a 10%. Like if you go 0 to 10, I'm a 6 and you are 10. So what is the difference between these two? Both get the 5%.
potentially. Yeah. Yeah. Both get the 5%. So our pay plan, each position is assigned a range, which is the row across that has 5 steps in it. There is a 5% difference between each of those steps. So your position has 5 possible compensation. You come in, you can negotiate when you're offered letter, wherever you're going to start. But once you start, then anytime you receive a merit-based increase from your evaluation, it's 5% until you hit the end and then you're stuck. So because of that, we would actually, what we are proposing here is that we delay when that first compensation is provided so that it's now provided at 12 months instead of at 6 months. Because the reality is at 6 months, somebody has just really started to get the groove of their job. They haven't necessarily mastered it. They've gotten comfortable in it. And so what we are now proposing is that at 6 months, they would still have a very thorough check-in with their supervisor to make sure that they're doing well with all of their onboarding and training and learning the job and learning the agency. And they would set new SMART goals for that next 6 months of things that they would really be doing in their job now that they know it. But there would be no compensation increase. And then after that 12-month period, there would now be a full review with a compensation increase if they succeed. And what this would do is slow down a little bit how quickly somebody moves through the pay plan, which will help us, again, manage retention, because when people hit the cap of the pay plan and can't get any more merit-based increases, they can start to feel frustrated.
I just understand your point.
Yeah.
Very well. That's like I'm not just saying. Whenever somebody hit, they have the cap.
Yes.
Okay, that's cap. So my question is that it's a 5-year cap or whatever the cap you have. After that, you cannot increase that. But there is no. So for example, I'm a technician 1. You think after 5 years, you guys cannot make us a technician 2?
So
I'm asking this
Yeah,
one.
no, absolutely.
This is working like that or no?
It does not work like that, in the sense of just because you achieved the end of 1 does not mean you move into your technician 2, because the agency, this is where being a smaller agency who has to be very nimble comes into play, because we couldn't staff all tech 2s just because people have been here for that tenure. We need to still look at what do we need done in the field? A Tech 2 works at a different level and has a different level of responsibility than a Tech 1 or an open space aide, for example. So using that career ladder.
So how you can retain the employees then?
Well, that's when we
If
come to
the
our
em-
board and ask for additional headcount to create
If
that next
the
position.
employees know that I don't have any future there, I cannot have any improvement here. So after 5 years, I cannot go technician 2, I cannot increase my salary. So why am I just staying in the agency? There are many, I'm just.
No, it's a very
my
valid
point
question.
is that.
Yeah, it's a very valid question. And to that, I would say, I think, again, it goes back to the type of work they get to do and the enjoyment and those other benefits that we're trying to look at today, the increased time and the overall health benefits package and things like that. If it from the dollars perspective, from the soft perspective, it's again that mission and we know we are growing. So there will become an opportunity that Derek will say, I really need more headcount in my department, and it's going to include a Tech 2. And we're going to do an internal recruitment to fill that Tech 2 so we can promote from within.
Do you also provide management level steps? So if you were going through the tech phase and somebody wants to go into management or,
Yeah.
they would have to train. I mean, they'd have to apply and they'd have to go through the proper schooling or whatever, and then they could then take the leap out of the tech and then go into the other.
I mean, we could,
Yeah.
we do not currently do that. So candidly, kind of teaser maybe, the next time we do a class and compensation study, it's very likely that our pay plan structure overall could benefit from some overhaul to provide more steps or different intervals of what that increase is.
Some school district
Yeah.
did at one point when they realized, like you said, you got to the point where people were there and they hit kind of the top.
Yeah.
And they realized, or there was a dearth of management. Management was leaving and you had a lot of classified, and so you wanted to move the classified into the next level. They kind of offered incentive for training so that people could then train, take the classes appropriately, and then apply to and then get into that management level
Yeah.
tier.
Yeah.
That
No,
wasn't done all the time, but it was done at a certain point when you knew you could see.
Yeah.
That the top was leaving and the bottom was getting heavier, and you needed to move people up into that management.
Yeah. Again, for us right now, with our current staff size, our attrition is fairly low. And so that is something, especially in the field, that we are just very eyes wide open about, is that no matter how much we appreciate an employee and they appreciate working here, they may be ready to grow faster than we can meet them. And they may go get a job at Mid-Penn or County Parks, but we still feel good about it because they're taking the Open Space Authority with them out into the world. And, then we get to create a new opportunity for the next guy down the ladder. So that is one of our biggest struggles in the field in particular, is helping find that balance of compensation, benefit, growth opportunity, and all of that with the size of our team and the lack of attrition. The lack of attrition is good because, again, it means people stay. But if you're trying to grow, it's hard because
Right.
there's nowhere to grow.
Right. Well, I mean, and considering the trajectory of the agency, so 5 years from now.
Yeah, could be very different.
We should be a larger agency with more responsibility, more opportunities, right? So then there's room for more.
And so-
development internally for staff within the system.
Yeah. And so to Dr. Gill's question though about retention, it comes from transparent communication. They know where we stand so that they can make that decision for themselves of, do I want to stay here for a few more years until the agency gets to that next step that position is going to open up for me. But so far it works because we treat them well and they get to do good, fun work that they care about a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a good discussion.
It's a great discussion overall. I should come talk to you guys about the handbook more often. But so again, on this particular proposal, there's a lot of words here, but the overall intention is to change it from a 6-month compensation to a 12-month compensation interval and how that would change the cadence of evaluations going forward.
Can they qualify for vacation or PTO at 6 months?
They qualify for all of that at 30 days. 90 days, 30 days. Now my brain's not 6 months. They don't have to wait 6 months. It used to be 6 months, but we changed it a handful of years ago.
No, actually, it's not from the start date.
They start earning it right away. From the moment they show up and put an hour on their time card, they start earning it. When they can start utilizing it is at the tip of my tongue. Let me confirm.
But it's less than 6 months.
Absolutely, it's less than 6 months. Sick leave is at 30 days, and again, that's California law. Yeah.
Really? Go anywhere for you to get away with 6 months. That, yeah, that's it. But then when you were accruing, you just couldn't take it until. Your probation.
Anyway, that's okay. I know very rightly.
Yeah, personal leave can be used right away because we also prorate that. So if you started on December 1st, you're only going to get currently 12 or 2 hours of personal leave. So we're going to let you use that between December 1st and December 31st. Why bother giving it to you otherwise, right? So yeah. And I think, yeah, that's the last amendment we wanted to review with you all.
You don't have the summary?
I forgot my summary slide. I'm sorry.
So then 2-3 points if you.
That's directed.
No. I remember. Just asking if you have another slide, just summary, what do you really need? We amend that. I know this is not make sense. So 5 days. We need to be amended. The other one
So-
is, those
Yeah.
kind of things. This is 2-3. So that's fine.
I'll be sure I have that when I talk to the board. So what the next steps though would be, today was about getting your feedback and input. And generally, I would say it sounds like you guys are supportive of all of these proposals. So we would be updating the handbook language to include them, have legal counsel review it to make sure it's good to go, and be coming back to the board at either the October or November meeting, depending on which agenda has the room for the discussion. And then at that time, I will be sure to highlight the detailed.
Oh, we are.
Your tone I said, it sounds like you are supporting.
That's.
So I guess, what if I could ask you directly, Director Gill, would you support these amendments if I presented them to the full board?
That makes sense. Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Director Chapman?
Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you.
Got my tone, my feedback. You're like more with.
I understand your tone. It's been 10 years. I getcha. I getcha.
I think you have some. Yeah, you have some good stuff.
I always support whatever the good work agency is doing last 18 years.
Mhm.
I never say no. I know that our agency is really a great work they are doing, and as a board, that's our moral responsibility to support that.
Awesome.
But that's a good question.
Okay.
Asking question is also our moral responsibility.
Oh, it's absolutely, and we appreciate the questions. I do for sure. So with that, I will,
Presentation.
That-
Okay, then I will do do we have any public comment?
There are none.
Okay, all right. Well, with that, I conclude the presentation. Let's formally adjourn the meeting. There you go.